Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to a really quick episode of me reviewing things. Today, we're reviewing the Star Wars Tales of the Empire. This is the second season of the Tales series. I quite enjoyed the first one. Let's just hop right into it. We got 3 episodes for Morgan Elsbeth. We have 3 episodes for Barriss Offee. Starting off quick with the Morgan ones, I don't have a lot to say. I didn't love them. Sometimes this happens. You have two parts of a story, one part just is weaker, and it happens here. It's not really the fault of Morgan necessarily. I never loved her character, but also like she's not that appealing anyway. I do blame, Dave Filoni for kind of like putting her in this like position to get these episodes. I don't think that was really necessary. It's okay. They're not like god awful episodes, and I don't want people to think that, but it's probably around mid at best. Um, Maybe mid at worst and like slightly okay at the best. It's just unfortunate because I really do think that this series has impressive animation, impressive music, but when the plot isn't great, it's really, really difficult for me to sit here and like give it good ratings. So I would love to rate the two story arcs just by themselves, but I do also want to rate it as a whole series slash season. If you think it's a season of Tales of the Jedi, or if you think it's a series, in that case, this is definitely going to bring down the rating a little bit, mostly because I would argue that I would argue the second and third episode kind of don't do anything. They're kind of explaining like really small elements of a story that we haven't really even seen fully developed yet. And Morgan Elsbeth is already in, Mandalorian and Ahsoka. So it's like, how much more Morgan Elsbeth content do we really need? And I don't. I just again, I'm not really in. I'm not really in love with their character or anything. So it's just kind of difficult for me to grasp onto. That being said, I would argue that I think the second episode had a lot of good action in it. So did the first one. The third one did not really have much going for it at all. Um, so take that however you want. I think this series would have been cooler if it was 6 episodes focused on Barriss. They probably had the ability to tell that. They did not. Um, so this show's already going to struggle by not being just a Barriss spinoff that's like an hour long. So let's talk about Barriss. I don't love the first episode that she has, so the fourth episode of the series. Um, I quite like it. I think it's really good. I just don't, it's not perfect. Mostly because I feel like the whole predictability element of it, kind of ruined it. Like you could tell where everything was going to go. You could tell where the episode was going to go. To a point, I don't even know if they should have shown us all of it. It was cool, yes, but like you easily could have inferred it and then told a different story. The ending was really, really cool. It kind of features Barriss fighting off to get her place in the Inquisitorius. That was cool. But honestly, this was kind of just a teaser for episodes 2 and 3 of her arc. Episode 2 of her arc, episode 5 of the overall series was brilliant. Um, Sort of starting to get into some really deep themes here about, the darkness and choosing to embrace it or not. And of course, we see Morgan Elsbeth. She chooses to embrace the darkness, right? She chooses to remain with the dark side and remain with the Empire. And Barriss, in episode 5, decides, hey, I'm not going to do that anymore. And she proclaims herself as a Jedi once more, and then goes kind of into exile because, of course, that's what all the Jedi are doing at this point in the timeline. The final episode involves the Inquisitor that she kind of like hung around with. Her name is Lynn. I don't know what sister she is, but she's a sister, of course, coming to find her unknowingly, just as Barriss is helping a Jedi youngling, basically, find their way back to family. There's like a cave that's very reminiscent of the Dagobah cave from episode 5. Lynn goes in there at the warning of Barriss, don't go in there. And the only way out is for her to stop being an Inquisitor. Unfortunately, what ends up happening is Barriss, in her attempt to save Lynn and save her from the Inquisitorius, ends up getting stabbed by Lynn. Barriss ends up getting stabbed by Lynn. And it's unknown if she survived. There is a lot of force healing in this series. Barriss does it to save a Jedi in episode 5 that they were hunting down, and I'm assuming that Lynn easily could have done it. for Barris. I just don't personally know. Um, Unfortunately, this kind of means that the question that we were asking, what happened to Barris, will continue to be asked, what happened to Barris. But I do really love this series, and I do love that it gave us 3 Barris-Offee episodes. Again, Morgan Elsbeth just doesn't hit it for me. I mean, that happens sometimes. Sometimes it's a character that I just don't prefer that other people might. Unfortunately, that's just kind of the way it goes. That being said, I will give the series its due diligence. I'm gonna rate each episode fairly. I'm not gonna like overrate the Barasofy ones and underrate. Everything's gonna be weighted the same. It comes out to a 7.9 out of 10, good enough for C tier, somewhere in that range. It's definitely not bad Star Wars. I do highly recommend it for the Barasofy episodes, but this is never gonna be peak storytelling, mostly because of the first 3 episodes. The Barris stuff is really, really good. By itself, it's probably an S tier. It's just kind of unfortunate that like it can't be because of the fact that unfortunately the Morgan Elsbeth episodes exist. It was cool to see Grievous again. He is in the first episode of the Morgan Elsbeth episodes, but it's not good enough for it to sustain itself the entire time. I feel like 3 episodes was just too much. Um, And I felt that way kind of about Tales of the Jedi. I think the Ahsoka ones were a little bit weaker than the Dooku ones, but it wasn't at this same level. It was mostly that I actually didn't really like the first Ahsoka episode, but the rest were really, really good, and I also really enjoyed all the Dooku ones. So Tales of the Jedi is superior, but next year, maybe the year after, they might hit us with a really, really good Tales of something. Maybe it's Empire again, who knows? And I think that this series is always going to be worth continuing just to see some extra content for Star Wars. That's all I have for you guys. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment down below your thoughts on Tales of the Empire. And I'll see you guys, hopefully in my next review. Could be a plethora of things, but The Acolyte's coming out in June. At the very least, should be a load of fun. But yeah, that's all I have for you guys. Love you all. Peace.